Don't don't ask me what kinds of films I make. My answer won't make you laugh. It won't make you think. I tell human stories. Stories about people who eat, sleep, try, don't try, have sex if they're lucky. They tell queer stories. My agent jumps in. I didn't know there was any other kind, I shrug. My agent gives me a look like I'm supposed to follow that up with some lighthearted punchline to let this prospective producer off the hook for some implied transphobia. Don't worry, I'm cool, was the best I could come up with. On the screening circuit, I find a way to work this commentary into every Q&A. I'm not so much interested in film, I say, watching my legs swing from my high seat. I look up. It just happens to be what I'm doing right now. If I have an idea, maybe it works as a film, but it might just as well be expressed as a poem or a sculpture. I want them to know I work with my hands and that words matter to me. Maybe it just needs to be some silent prayer meant only for your God. Or goddess, as the only straight woman on the panel. Some chuckles. Sure, I say. Audiences hate when artists bring up God, which is why I threw that in. The other filmmakers straighten up when the host opens the floor to questions. Part of me wants to fall right through it, but another part of me wants to impress the cutie in the third row. Then I notice my ex sitting one seat over, and for some reason, I see myself from above being ripped apart by a ravenous pack of thrashing alligators. I remember to put on a soft smile and gaze up at the projector booth. That'll do nicely. A woman's hand shoots up. She looks like she might be a veterinarian who rides a scooter. Every director hates this question, and yet she still asks. Having seen y'all's films, I'd love to hear your log lines. Your log line is your elevator pitch. Something concise, engaging, absolutely worthy of this fat cat film exec's time, even as he deals with a coffee bladder and a gender-questioning grandson. All of this flashes through my mind in the span of like half a second as I'm flipping through my mental filing cabinet for that stupid log line. The host gestures to me. You want to start us off? Probably because I clearly like to talk. So, why do I always start with so? When art hose, Donnie and Destiny, queer art hose, my agent chimes in. Yes. When queer art hose, Donnie and self-proclaimed unicorn, Destiny, collide on a carnivalesque evening in Atlanta, the perfect storm of passion and chaos follows. The rest of the filmmakers go on to share their log lines, but I'm too busy wondering if I included the part about the dark unicorn. A punk-ass kid wearing flip-top wool mittens, probably a communist, has a question just for me. Why did you choose the title Destiny Unicorn? I blink. Were you watching the movie? A little sigh falls out of me, amplified mockingly over the PA system. Sorry, I can't help but blurt out. Truth is, this kid really wasn't watching the movie. Nobody was watching, not even me. As of now, the film is just a bunch of files on my hard drive. I don't even have an agent. Before the screening, my imaginary agent reminds me of my habit of throwing curveballs. I know where you're coming from, he explains, but for some people, you kind of fall on the edge of tone. You know what I mean? So just be yourself, but like 80%, you know? Maybe have something prepared, a little monologue, a little anecdote. So I tell the audience about this recurring dream I keep having. I'm on set, right? With a crew of nothing but straight white men. One of them once ate 50 hot wings at an all-you-can-eat wing buffet. Another one ate 100 wings. And each has a story about smoking weed with a successively more famous rapper. They only speak to one another, and to the lead actress, who calls each one of them Christian. Christian tells us about the time he had to fight a homeless guy during the production of the scrapped Home Alone reboot, the one where Macaulay Culkin's an Israeli spy. Christian waits patiently for Christian to finish, then says, "Bro, you know how I know you're full of shit?" "How?" Christian snaps back. "Because I'm the one who fought the homeless guy, dumbass. And it was during the shoot for that impossible McRib spot." And I'm laughing with the other guys, but I shut up real quick when I see how disgusted the lead actress looks. "Take that as you will," I finish. The host stands. Well, before we all walk out of here, I have one more question for our fabulous filmmakers. I know I'm not the only one wondering, what can we expect from you in the coming year? I jump in as if I'm doing everyone a favor. I guess I'll go first. So I have this new idea, and y'all are gonna be the first to hear it. It's about these 4 friends who meet up on, say, the 5th anniversary of their one friend's overdose. And they've grown apart, and one of them is still doing drugs, and one of them is clean. One of them was in love with a friend, one of them was fucking her. Still working all that out. And they relive their past, visit her grave, whatever. And at some point, the girl shows up. But it's not some like paranormal, oh, it's a ghost kind of thing. They just accept it. And she's delightful, but she also calls them on their shit, and it brings them all closer in this weird kind of way. And at the very end, they all get together, the whole cast of the movie, even some people we haven't even met yet. And they do this huge sing-along. And it's Wake Up by Arcade Fire. And they're playing ukuleles and African drums, and everyone's laughing and crying and shit. And it's like, ba, 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 ba. And that's the end of the movie. I await the inevitable question. Are any of the characters queer? Surely one of them must be. I'm locked and loaded with my answer. We don't know, maybe. Who's to say? But the question never comes. I'm taken aback when they move on to the next filmmaker. I glance at my ex. Maybe they can help me work this out. Nothing. I scan deliberately past the cutie. No time for that now. Do these people even know I'm queer? I haven't actually said it. Maybe they think I'm one of those people on the outskirts who claims a queer identity but still exercises the privilege of a cis man. Maybe I am one of those people. I reach for my earlobes to make sure my earrings are adequately dangly. I just want to clarify. Fuck, I totally interrupted the person speaking. Sorry, never mind, They're waiting for me to continue. Go ahead, I say. Now I want to hear what you were going to say. The audience is charmed by this moment. Okay, all I was going to say is that I think it's really cool, the different representations of queerness that we all have in our different films. The filmmaker, who I suddenly recognize, nods generously, too generously, and resumes. I listen. And at long last, I realize I'm surrounded by brilliance. After the Q&A, I beeline to the lobby. I post up at a 2-seater, hoping people notice how comfortable I am being by myself as they pour out of the theater. The cutie walks past, then turns back. Destiny Unicorn was great, by the way. Oh yeah? Which part? God, I'm such an asshole. I don't know, all of it? We laugh, and my curveball is forgiven. I pause. Can I ask you something? Do you feel like it was too on the nose with the whole gender thing? I mean, maybe a little, but I think it works. I appreciate that. The cutie gives a little wave and catches up with my ex and the gang as they head for the parking lot. It works.